Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Jeff Relaford, and I thank you for joining me on the Jeff Relaford Show. Because listen, you could have been doing anything else today, right? But you chose on your way home from work, or if you just at home chilling, to tune in to the Jeff Relaford Show. Now, real quick, I want to say this to you. Go ahead, tell your friends and family to download the online radio box app to your Android or your Apple device. So that way you can go ahead and listen to us on the go. And what you do is from there, you type in Biggs Radio Chicago. Okay? Biggs Radio Chicago. And also listen to our sister stations in Indianapolis, Indiana, Pasadena, California, Atlanta, Georgia. And once again, you are kicking it with Jeff Relaford on the Jeff Relaford Show on Biggs Radio Chicago, the voice of a new generation. Let's go. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy, Life Coach Jeff, coming to you live on another episode of the Jeff Relaford Show. All right, the Jeff Relaford Show on WCHI, Biggs Radio Chicago. On the A-track to the latest app, y'all. How is everybody doing today? Listen, I want to let y'all know I'm great. I'm fine. If you catch me, I'm looking at some stuff on the computer here. See, this for my people on the live stream. But if you're not on the live, you just hear brother on the radio. But anyway, y'all, how's everybody doing today? Look, I'm good. I'm great. And I really hope and pray that all of y'all have had a great weekend. Because we back here on another Monday, baby, on the Jeff Relaford Show. So, y'all know how we do. We do the announcements first. And then once we do the announcements, we dive into conversation. I got some stuff I really want to share with y'all today. Because what we have to realize is that, oh my gosh, man, sometimes we just have to slow some things down and look at them for what they are and take some time to process. So, I just want to tell y'all what I went through today and share that with y'all. Use it as a good teachable moment. But y'all know, I got to let y'all know where we at, baby. Boom, we here at the Vibe Studios, okay? We are here at the Vibe Studios at 2075 Rush Place in Lake Station, Indiana. Listen, man, it consists of Ryan Reader, the VNO, what you know, myself, Life Coach Jeff of Redirect, Regroup, Refocus. That's, okay, I don't know where that came from, but it came from somewhere, but whatever. And we got Smooch Wallace. Who is Smooch Wallace, baby? And also Mary Selena K of Rock Truth Radio. Listen, we make up the Vibe Studios 219. So we do your podcasting, we do your needs and everything of creating a live visual space for you. Also, we do some documentaries as well. So y'all stay tapped in, okay? Stay tapped in. Just reach out to any of our social medias and we'll be able to take care of y'all with that. And also, man, I got to shout this out too. Shateria Beauty, okay? Shateria Beauty, Chicago's #1 vegan hair care brand. Now listen, Ruby Gold Smoke and T.L. Williams have made this awesome line of hair care products. And with this hair care line of products, what they do is, man, they're giving cancer patients their hair back. Okay? I'm sorry, y'all. That's got to be the slogan. For me, at least, when I say it. They're giving cancer patients their hair back. So Shateria Beauty, y'all. Go to www.shateriabeauty.com. That's SHATERIA beauty.com. And tap into them. And I also have to let you know, the views that are expressed on this Jeff Relaford Show are not necessarily the views of Biggs Radio or its affiliates. Boom. All right, y'all. So we're going to dive right into it for today. Because, and y'all don't understand, I'm very excited to be with y'all today. Because I have a lot to share and I have a lot to give. So with my particular experience that I went through today, this happened to be a particular experience I went through with my wife. So shout out to the wifey out there. I know she listed online. Y'all know how I do, man. Experience is the best teacher in my household and in my ways. So that's what I do. So I share with y'all what I got going on. So this particular experience I went through with my wife today. Okay. Sometimes we tend to operate in crunch time. And I say we because we're connected together. But in this case, it felt like it was me operating in crunch time. So sometimes my wife, she gets a little overwhelmed. She gets a little anxious when it comes to last minute things. Okay. I don't mind last minute. Last minute is fine with me. It depends on what it is. So this don't mean I need all y'all hit me up last minute, talk about I need you to cover this particular show. Or I need you to be here to support. Don't tell me last minute, because sometimes you might not get me. It's been people who let me know stuff weeks in advance and I still didn't come because it was how I was feeling that day. It's not that I don't like you. Sometimes I got to make a decision last minute too. But anyway, my wife felt that I was making a certain decision last minute. And I had to realize that maybe if I would have been a little more vocal pertaining to some of the things that was going on, information wise, maybe it would have taken away some of the anxiety. Now, I was met with some attitude. Okay, I was met with a twinge of attitude today. And I had to take the time to listen and to understand why that attitude came my way. Now, it's not that I'm saying that I have to be dismissive of the attitude, but what we have to do at times as people, we have to be able to understand the attitude. Does that make sense? Okay, for my people in the back, it makes sense. So that's what I had to do today. I had to take the time to process some information and look at what I was doing. I did not tend to communicate as well as I should have. Now, could attitude arisen? Yes, that's fine. It can very much so do that. But I had to understand what I did in my way. Sometimes people, we aren't the best at communicating. And sometimes this is good for my single people. This is good for my married people who just have friendships, the whole nine. We have to make sure that we keep open lines of communication because everybody don't know what's going on with you. They don't know the struggles. Now, here I am assuming because, my wife follows what I do and everything. She knows all the stuff I'm into. But then, work comes on top of that. So sometimes in the midst of me having to talk to a supervisor, boss, badge, whatever it may be, okay, whatever it may be, sometimes things are forgotten. They might get lost in translation a little bit along the way of the day. So here I am thinking that she knows this. No, she does not know this at all. What's up, Felice? Happy Monday to you, sister girl. How you doing? Shout out to Determined Radio in the building as we having a conversation. Shout out to Determined Radio. But yeah, y'all, I'm assuming that she knew what was going on. And don't we tend to do that with people sometimes? We tend to assume and think that they know what's going on with us. So then we might get upset at them because we didn't get a certain reaction or a certain response out of them because we're assuming that they should what? I can't hear you. They should read our mind and they should know. So I'm just letting y'all know. Sometimes what we have to do is we got to pull back and we have to take a look at our actions and see what we're doing and what can we do to actually make something better. I watched a reel today. And this is for I want to give this to my people who have anxiety, for my people who have hard times doing stuff last minute. You could tell somebody, exactly, Felice, you're not a mind reader. That's it, my sister. You are not a mind reader at all. You got to talk. You got to talk. And with this reel that I saw today, I'm usually telling people just to relax. And sometimes I realize in order to get people to relax, you have to give them you have to give them different verbiage. You have to give them something that they can understand. So I hope I found something today that I can pass on to each and every one of y'all to help y'all with some type of anxiety, last minute communication. Okay. And it goes a little something like this. The door is bigger than the lock. The lock is bigger than the key. But the key, being the smallest one of them all, has the power to unlock the lock and open the door. Moral of the story, people, is this. Sometimes the smallest idea can be the answer to what you might think or looking at as your biggest obstacle or problem. So I just don't want to tell y'all to relax. I want y'all to understand that every decision that you make, every move that you make, you look at something that's like an insurmountable thing, like it's tall, it's big, it's scary. You don't want to go through that struggle. In my case, it was communication today. I'm gonna just be real. In my case, it was communication. It was me having to talk about these steps because I am a doer, right? I'm a doer. So I'm gonna just do. And then I'll tell you later. That's just who I am. That's how it goes with me. I need to change that. Shouldn't be that way, but I am. Anyway, what you got to realize is that sometimes with people, and you start looking at ways to fix things. It's for my man out there and women who are in relationships. Y'all try to fix things. But sometimes that small solution that you come to, that's the easiest one, it's the simplest one. That is the answer to your biggest problem. Sometimes it might have to be stepping away from something real quick. Sometimes it might just be, I'm going to just shut up and I'm going to table this right here for me. I'm going to table this right here to the right, maybe to the left, and we're going to sit it down and we're going to let it marinate for a little bit, and we're going to come back to it. Sometimes people, we have to stop thinking so big out here. Stop thinking huge, humongous, because that's what I had to learn today. Okay. And I say this is a learning experience for my household because me and my wife had this conversation and we both took something out of it. So shout out to my married people who can have conversations, real conversations with your spouse, and y'all can both take something out of it. And I say that because everybody can't do it. I'm going to just be real. I'm the life coach. I can say that. Everybody can't do it out here. As much as sometimes we would like to think we can do things, we have to admit those things to ourselves and say, you know what? Maybe this could be a struggle for me. So I'm just keeping it real. I'm just being honest with y'all. So just remember that little saying I gave y'all. Because I'm telling you, it can look like our back is against the wall. It could look like we're going through certain things. It could look like that there's no light at the end of this tunnel that we call life. But I'm telling you, the smallest thing, the simplest idea, the smallest idea could be the biggest solution to all your problems. Just ponder on that. Let it marinate real quick. And see, this also works for when you're having conflict, turmoil, different things of that nature, because things can be going good as well. You could have a great day because we like to associate a lot of this stuff when things go bad. So let me try to flip this when something is going good, right? So when things are going good and you run into an obstacle, what do? It's a lot easier to find a solution to the problem, right? A lot of times we stop ourselves in our own tracks because we don't want to find solutions to problems. We think it takes more work to find a solution. I'm going to tell y'all this. It's not that hard to think. And I don't mean that in an arrogant way. I don't mean that in a mean or rude way. I'm saying that in terms of sometimes you just got to sit back, slow it down, and know that everything is going to come together and work out in your favor. Because you got to process and be able to understand that life ain't always peachy all the time. Everything's not always going to fall right in alignment with what you want. Let's just be honest. Let's be real. It's not going to work out like that for you all the time. But there are times when you can try to think of a solution. It might not be 100%, but it's got to be something that you're good enough to work with. That makes it good enough to work with. Something that you could process and you could say to yourself, you know what? Okay, I might be lacking here in this area, but we can make this happen and we can still do it. It's not going to be that taxing on me to actually go ahead and make this decision. And y'all, we preach it to the choir here because your boy be going, oh my God. Like, let me tell y'all this. My manager is here with me, okay? It's things we have to talk about. It's things that we have to do. Now, she has been around me quite some time to know that I might not do everything or I might not do nothing. I can admit that. I can say that because she knows she's looking up right now. She said, well, that's it. Because that's the truth. So a lot of times we got to understand where we fall short at. We're not going to be perfect. We're not going to get it right all the time. But you know why me and my manager work good together is because she worked with me and I work with her. The expectation can be high, but the boundary is not. It's nothing that can't be accomplished. Yeah, y'all, I'm telling you, I done learned a lot. I done gave y'all a lot in just this 15 minutes right here. Sometimes, brother, it gets so good, you heightened it up, and then you just got to end it. But I got 45 more minutes. Y'all got 45 more minutes with your boy. So it's all right. We'll go ahead and continue to give out some of this good information because this is what we do, people. This is what we do on my show. And also, I want to say this also too. When it comes to these situations and these certain things that you go through in life, a lot of times we have to remember that when I can easily come on here and say that life ain't gonna be peaches and cream. See, that's the easy part for me to say. But see, people always want to ask how, right? How, Life Coach Jeff, how do I get through something that I feel is bringing me down and I'm at the lowest of my low? How do I get through this? People ask me this question. And I say, I give them a very simple answer to what may seem like a complex question to them at the time. And I say, what do you like to do that brings you peace? What do you like to do that brings some type of happiness to your life? Are you fulfilled? Now, these are questions we have to ask ourselves. I'm going to tell y'all, man, when I reached 30, I'm 35. When I reached 30, I was asking myself, am I fulfilled? Am I happy? Even before 30, gosh, this had to be like when I went through, and I'm real, people. This is what it is. I was married once before and I got a divorce. Okay. So it was after that divorce, I sat up here to ask myself, am I fulfilled? Am I happy? Felicia's saying, go to the gym. There you go. Go to the gym. Do something. Put your time and energy into something where you can manifest or yield a result that is pleasing to you. Okay? Put your time and your energy into something that can manifest a result that is pleasing to you. So pleasing always isn't pleasing. I see. I lost people because you know why? I told the truth. That's why I lost people, because I told the truth. I realized a little bit of the viewership went down because I told the truth. I lost some people because I told the truth. I'm just letting y'all know. You got to do something that's going to be able to benefit you in a selfish way for your own internal health and happiness. In a selfish way to promote your own health and internal happiness. For real. I'm being very honest. Sometimes you do have to push certain things and people off to the side. I'm not saying just say, hey, I don't want to deal with you at this moment. You might say that about some people in your life. I'm not living your life. I'm not going to speak for you. I'm just saying that you might say it. But when you do say those things, when you do have to pull back from certain things, when you do pull back from certain things, you have to understand and realize that it works like this. You're giving yourself time to breathe. You're giving yourself time to think clearly. You're giving yourself time to come up with that solution, right? We talked about earlier, that small key that can actually open up the door to what you see as your biggest obstacle. Sometimes we all need that reset. We all need to push that button so that we can take a look at ourselves. And there's nothing wrong with taking a look at yourself. Can I say that for the people in the back? There's nothing wrong with you taking a look at yourself. Because taking a look at yourself is actually one of the best things that you could do for you, because you start to learn more about who you. That should be the main goal. The main goal of everything that I'm saying here, even when I gave y'all the story earlier about me and my wife and how I had to communicate better with her. These are all learning experiences. You want to know the how? The how is actually to embrace what's real. And I'm going to be very completely truthful and honest when I say that. You have to embrace what is real. I'm not talking about what you want, because what we all want to happen is a fantasy. I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to be a fantasy until you see a shred of reality happen to it. Okay? So a lot of times you can't dwell on the fantasy of something. Like, for instance, Let me see if I can use this as an example. No, I won't use that as an example. I'll say this. Let's say I have an event, and with this event, I want it to go well, right? But the day of, things just keep happening. At some point in time, I have to accept what's going on. I have to accept my now. I have to accept the reality of it and say, this is it. That's the same thing you have to do with your life. At times, you have to say, this is it. And sometimes we might put ourselves in these situations and predicaments as well. Lord knows, if I had a Zoom button, I swear if I had a Zoom button so y'all could just see the expression a little bit more on my face. Okay. I done sat up here and put myself in many predicaments. Many. That I have nobody to blame but myself. So this is why I say, a lot of times you gotta do these things to take a look at self, get everybody else out of it, and see where you stand. See if you're willing to make the plunge or the jump into the deep end when it comes to you, your feelings, your emotions, your responses, the whole nine. Because this is the whole philosophy of the Life Coach Jeff Show. You know, we gonna give up some game too, but I gotta come on here and give y'all some game to life sometime. I'm not here to tell you that, you know, if you follow these steps, if you follow these teachings, that everything is going to be 1,000% for you. Because the reality of it is that it's not. I follow a lot of the same stuff that I say on here every day to the T. But my life ain't perfect. So don't expect just because, and I don't care, y'all, and I have to say this, I don't care what program you're going through. I don't care if you just listen to Life Coach Jeff on the radio. I don't care if you following actually a program that another life coach has put out for you or any mentor has put out for you. You can't start something expecting 100% results. Never start something expecting 100% results. It's like when you try to lose weight, right? Everybody starts the diet happy, right? They just excited. Y'all be happy. Y'all be like, yeah, let's get it. Woo, woo, woo. Ready. I'm talking about y'all. I look at some of y'all shredded 100 pounds just off of happiness. Okay. But then when your first month go, you can't lose no weight. Then when your second month go, you start losing 2 pounds. But then when that third month hits, something just clicks. And you done lost like 30. Total weight. Because you found something that works for you. You took the time to see through it all. See, a lot of times people, what we want to do is we want to start something and we don't want to finish. Because it gets too hard. Because life knocks on the door and we say we can't do this anymore. And to my people who suffer from depression, I feel for you because depression is real. It is a real thing. So if you happen to suffer from depression and you are listening, and I hope you don't taking me as like beating you down or badgering, because that's not what I'm doing. I'm just trying to give you a few keys to go through and to live by. So you do whatever you have to do, whatever's prescribed, anything like that to help ease your mind, but then still go ahead and take some advice from sound people that can guide you in the right direction, you know, because everybody needs a mentor. Everybody needs some guidance. Everybody needs a partner or a friend or somebody to kind of, I'm not saying like babysit you along the way, but just to help aid in your growth and development. It's an everyday process. You know, some of y'all think that this is going to happen overnight. No, growth and development takes months, years of patterns to develop. Patterns that you're willing to, and what I mean by a pattern, a life pattern. I'm not talking about just a quick motion of something that you just, no, I'm talking about a whole life pattern of how you want to switch your lifestyle. Jesus, y'all, there's certain things I got to do now. Okay, for instance, my wife is bringing in all this healthy stuff into the home. Oh, my Jesus. Like she bringing all this. This goes against, I got a cup of coffee, right? This goes against everything. And I got some Long John Silver sitting right over there in that corner. This goes against everything my wife is trying to help me out with. And I'm going to hear it when I get home if she's listening. I know I'm going to hear it when I get home. I already know it. Because now I done told on myself. You know. So I have to get in a certain mindset in order to want to eat healthy. I'm getting back into a mindset of now eating foods that don't have a lot of seasoning on them, that ain't salty. Now, for the food that I bought today, that's going to be the bomb. It's going to be the bomb. It's going to be good because, that's what the tongue is craving. But, when you want to do better, you have to go ahead and put yourself in that mindset of saying, you know what? Okay, today, I'm going to make a choice. It's going to be a different choice. I might not even like the choice, but I'm going to make the choice to try. And when you try, don't stop trying. Because see, we think when we try something, that means we just supposed to do it for a couple of days, sit it down, pick it back up. That's us trying. No, remember when I said a lot of us don't like to start something? No, finish something that we start. So since we don't like to finish something that we start, you have to try something and you have to see it through until you see the what? The result that pleases you. I said that earlier, didn't I? You gotta be ready to go through some things to get to the result that pleases you. Now, for my spiritual people out there, for my people that love to follow the Bible, and we start talking about faith and everything, there's a scripture, strong scripture I like to pay attention to. Faith without works is dead. So you just can't be out here having all the faith in the world. Okay? Because I have to mention this because when we talk about mindset, for some reason, with a few of my Christian people, not all of y'all, but a few of my believer friends and my people that listen to the show, I get it. God can do anything, but God also want to see you working and moving. So you can't say, Lord, I want to lose 20 pounds. Lord, I want to get a new job. Lord, I want this car. And you didn't try to do anything to attain it. Because that's how God works too, people. I want to let y'all know God works in ways. So he'll put an opportunity in front of you, but you have to take advantage of it. Can I be honest with y'all in the room? I feel like it's a couple good opportunities that I missed out on because of me. So what you got to do is, for my spiritual people out there, again, go ahead and make sure that when you start to move, you're moving in a way to where you can still be spiritual and be of sound mind, but then make sure you're making good judgment decisions about the direction you want to go. Everything can still be God-led, God-fed, God-bred. Everything can. But what you got to do is you got to be able to find a balance between the two. So see, look, I done gave y'all all this here. I done gave y'all a lot. I just sat up here and gave y'all all of this blueprint of me telling you what to do. But see, for my people, when they start talking about following God, a lot of times what we have to realize is when you choose to follow God or whatever you choose to follow, at some point in time, you have to let that thing lead. I choose to let God lead. So a lot of times that means I can't stress about things. That means I can't worry. That means I don't have the luxury of walking into some place and wanting to vent at times and hoping people will listen. Because people will show you real quick that they don't care. Best way I can say it, best way possible. People will show you that and tell you. They might even tell you, I don't care. So what you got to do is you have to have a balance between the two. If you don't have a good balance, you'll be wondering why, okay, how come I haven't been blessed in so long? How come different things haven't come my way? I got news for you, baby. They have. But the problem is that you haven't put yourself in the mindset to have your spiritual align with your natural. They always going to fight each other. That's what scripture says. The spirit warns the flesh warns the spirit. Okay, now we're teaching a little bit. They're going to fight each other. But it's like yin to the yang, good and evil. For everything that's good, there's got to be bad out there. For everything bad, you always know there's got to be good. You know that. This is how the laws of the world work. And what I mean by the laws of the world, when we start talking about God, I'm talking about just how God has balance. You know, there's a lot of questions we can raise right now about certain things biblically, but the path that we're taking today is those things that will uplift you and those things that will bring you joy, bring you peace. But again, in order to attain all these things and on that spiritual level, you have to put in work. You have to put in as much work just as you would if you didn't believe in something, to do it just as if you did. So you got to put in the same amount of work. The mindset just has to be a bit different. That's all it is, people. mm, mm, mm. I hope y'all taking notes. I hope y'all jotting some stuff down. I hope y'all sitting up here getting to a point to where, like, you know what, man, maybe I might just have to do a couple of these things in my life. Because I'm telling you, one of the worst things you could do is deny good intentions. And I mean, if you deny good intentions, that means you know it's a good intention coming from somebody. Like, for instance, somebody could try to give me $5 today, and I say no, not knowing that maybe I just might need that $5 for something. Sometimes it's not always the best thing to deny good intentions. Somebody might want to give you $100, and you gonna tell somebody, nah, you don't have to do that. You think it's a kind gesture. You think that you're helping somebody by saying, oh, you could keep your money. But let me tell you, sometimes people, it's not always good to deny someone who is trying to do a kind gesture for you or to you. You don't always have to say no all the time. If you stay closed up all the time, you'll never have room to receive. If you keep denying good things to come your way, how do you expect yourself to grow and be open to get anything to come through to you? You got to have some arms open. You got to have some eyes open. You got to have some ears ready to hear. You have to set yourself up ready for some type of success. So see, people, now we've shifted the conversation to success. Now, with success, while you going through all this stuff, okay, everything I talked about, learning about yourself, right? Learning about yourself, going through these situations with people or just by yourself in general, willing to go to the deep end of the pool, not the shallow end, willing to go to the deep end of the pool. So while you're willing to go to the deep end of the pool, now you got to start looking at your successes. And like I said earlier, your successes might not be what you think they are. But when we get to this point where we've gone to the gym, we putting in work on ourselves and on our lives, you have to ask yourself the question, how does this success look to me? What do I want to be satisfied with? Right? What do I want to be satisfied with? Are the things that I'm looking for realistic? Or are they just dreams? Is this the fantasy that we spoke of earlier? Because you're not going to get the exact 110% that you think you deserve. But you can get close. You can get pretty close. Why do we always do that to ourselves? Have y'all thought about that? Why do we always do that to ourselves? Why we can see ourselves right there, ready to get all the good, but we climb up. And sometimes we say no. Majority of the time, we do say no. I tend to wonder if we do that because we're afraid. Maybe we're scared of a good outcome. Maybe because a lot of us haven't seen a lot of good around us already. So by the time we get to the point of something where it's actually a door, a big door that can be open because of that little key, we don't even want to put it in the hole to turn it and see what's on the other side. Never be nervous to have a good time, people. Never be nervous to have good or receive good, because there are going to be times when you are going to miss out on certain things because you misjudged. I have a bad habit of starting things with people. And when I start these things with people, sometimes I know it's not going to work. Sometimes. For the times where I stepped out on faith and gave it a chance, it looked good. But at the end, internally, for these inner works, it just didn't work. And I think it didn't work because sometimes we look at things and we say, okay, it's a good idea. You know, I can put a lot into it, but maybe sometimes certain people aren't willing to put the same amount of work into it as you. So that's my bad habit. I have a bad habit of starting stuff with people. But with me saying this, though, there is always a lesson to be taken from everybody that I have done something with along the way. Now, that's what I mean by earlier when I said it has to be a mindset shift. When you want to go someplace or you trying to accomplish something, there comes a period in time when you have to stop blaming people for downfall. And I had to realize that, I can't blame people for my downfall. They're not the reason why this didn't work. I have to assume some type of responsibility for this. So I'm part of the problem. That person just happened to be there. Think about how life would be if you didn't run across at least 20 of the people who have influenced your life already, whether it be good or bad. Think about 20 people. Nah, we ain't even going to say 20. I'm going to say 5. Think about 5 good people that you know have already influenced you in your life already. How would it be today if you would have never met them? Think about that. For some of y'all, this question really just might fall into the realm of the strongest people in your life. And I'm talking about your spouse. Because I know my life would be totally different. Totally different if I had not met my wife. Totally different. So that's something to think about. You know, take every moment in your life as a learning lesson. You have to. Because once you start limiting your learning, that's when you don't have any growth. When you start limiting what you can learn from people, when you start limiting what you can take from others, informational wise, I have to specify that because some of y'all do like to take from other people, whether it be resources, whether those resources are money, different possessions. It's not about taking stuff from people. What you have to make sure is that you're ready to receive some type of knowledge. You have to make sure you're ready to receive more than just something of a monetary value or of a, what's that word I'm trying to use, girl? What's that word I'm thinking of, Ash? What's that? I don't know that word. But you have to think about something that just doesn't seem like a come up to you. Okay. There it is. You just can't look at things that are beneficial to you more on a scale of of a possession type deal. You can't do that. You got to be willing to see what people can offer you informationally. Because I got a lot of knowledge about stuff just from me watching people, just from me seeing people, how they move in radio and everything. Now, for some people, it's an illusion. And now I'm talking about radio. Some people are very good at the illusions because people forget. Your boy Life Coach Jeff is just watching. A lot of times, and I'll tell y'all a little secret about me. A lot of times, I don't say a lot. But I see a lot at the same time. So that's where a lot of my learning comes into play. That's where a lot of my life experience comes into play. That's where a lot of me making sure that I have things to coach you on comes into play too. Because these aren't things that I've just been through. These are things that I have watched other people go through. And I've shared that same feeling and emotion in some type of situation that I've dealt with. And now I'm able to push it out and give it back to you. Like if y'all really knew how I went down If y'all really knew how certain things are here, I'm telling you, y'all wouldn't even want to do half the game. Because it's not hard. I'm not even trying to say it's hard. It's actually quite easy. It's quite easy to do. Entertainment, you know. I'm not gonna say television. I don't want to say television because television is a different game. That's a different ball game. Television is you gotta talent, scouts, all this. Acting is a skill. But I tell you to do radio, oh my gosh, y'all. It's if some of y'all have a little bit more information, y'all could be quite successful out here. Sometimes you got to know the people you're around to have enough knowledge for you. So sometimes what you got to do is you have to keep them close with you, or at least have a developed relationship. Follow them and let them follow you. Because at the end of the day, everybody's looking, trying to see what's going on. Everybody's looking. Hey, you come in. We have people coming in, and sometimes, it's a studio. We here, baby. It's open. But anyway, so sometimes you just got to be willing to keep a relationship open and keep something going in order to learn, in order to get some knowledge, in order to receive, in order to see what's going on. Because like I said, a lot of times I watch, I listen, I don't say a lot, but I watch and I listen to try to scope out people's minds, to see where they're going. And it's never in a negative way. And if I want to know more, I'll ask more. If I want to see what else, I'll do that. But that's just how I operate. So yeah, y'all, I'm telling you, man, spent some good time here today. I'm telling you, this is some good time today. I've really missed just doing the whole one-on-one with y'all, because for the whole month, okay, I was interviewing Distinguished Authors Guild authors. So it was something to go ahead and do that. But to be back here with y'all, this is beautiful. Now we tapping back in, baby. This is where it's at. This is what I do, Try to make sure y'all have something to get through that rest of the week with. Because I understand y'all, listen, y'all be pulled in 20, 30, 40 different directions. I know y'all do. I know you do. You ain't got to tell Life Coach Jeff. I already know it. Y'all get pulled in a lot of different directions. And sometimes when y'all get pulled in these different directions, what tends to happen is it's like we lose track. We lose a little bit of track here. And sometimes when we lose track, it's okay. Sometimes y'all just need a little pick-me-up to know what we have to do to get right back on track. That's all it is. Find your own groove. Find your own sway. Find your own motion that you able to rock with. Like, for instance, I love to listen to music in the car all the time. Oh, my Jesus. Y'all don't understand. I play the music on blast. If I went to the hearing doctor right now, they might tell me my hearing is bad because I work in a loud environment and I be at all these different shows and everything, but stuff be loud. They don't tell you to wear earplugs at these places. They don't do that. And then I'm blasting music at the top of the volume, pegged out in my vehicle. So, telling y'all, find something you like to do. Like I said, I like to listen to music. Do that. But when it comes to these daily things in life, a lot of times we just need to reprogram our minds. We need to get ourselves together, stow ourselves away in a nice, quiet place to where we can't hear anything. Sometimes you just need to hear yourself breathe. Real talk. Hear yourself breathe sometimes so you could get through that day. So you can find something to say, okay, you know what? I might feel like I'm on my last leg, but I'm not on my last leg. That's what y'all got to know sometimes. You're not on your last leg. You are never on your last leg. You are never on your last leg. As long as you have breath in your body and you have a mind and you can think, you are never on your last leg. There's always a way to get through something. Always. I don't care if you think you ain't found a solution. A lot of times that solution is really just being grateful and being humble for what you have already. Again, see, y'all want to know how. But a lot of it is just being humble and grateful for what you have already. Because remember I said, if you keep denying good things that come your way, it makes it harder for you to receive. If you're already humble and if you already know something good is going to come your way, You don't have to know when, you don't have to know the time, hour, all this other mess. You ain't got to know all that. But what you do have to know is that if I keep moving in a good way, in a positive way, at least trying to make it happen, it will come back to you. I say this all the time. When I go to different pop-up shops and everything like that, when I cover shows and there are vendors there, I make sure I solicit the vendors. Oh, I just spilled some stuff. Anyway, y'all, that's why you don't have coffee around your equipment. But it's okay. It ain't that bad. It's not that bad. But every time I go to these shows, I be with the vendors and all that stuff, I solicit and I always say it's going to come back to me. And you know what? I'm going to be real honest with y'all. The last pop-up shop I went to, shout out to Dara Walker out there. Shout out to Dara Walker. I told her what I was going to do was I was going to make sure that I solicited majority of the vendors that were there. And when I went to solicit majority of the vendors, I said to each and every one of them, and I'm telling you, they can attest to it. I know Ash can. I say it all the time. I said, you know what? Oh, but thank you for giving this much money, or thank you for going over the amount of this or that third. Yeah, whoop-de-woo. I said, don't worry about it, sister. Don't worry about it, brother. It always comes back. So this particular day, there was a raffle going on. And Dare said, okay, I'm going to raffle off some of the things that I got going on. I said, okay, girl, do you think? So numbers are getting pulled. And the first number that gets pulled is my number. And here it is. I'm just saying I don't win a lot when I go places, But I went ahead to still solicit, Went ahead. Now we waiting. Like about 30 more minutes go by. Okay, we're doing another raffle. Now, mind y'all, I bought 10 tickets. I made sure I bought 10 tickets. Because I just said, I want to support. Even if I don't win anything, I support. Derek got the money and whatnot. I'm good. I'm good. It works. I will be fine. But then the raffle goes around that second time. And they call your boy's number again. This is 2 baskets I won. And then, out of what, 4 times it was called? 4 times. Yeah, she gave away 4. Out of the 4, I won 3 times. And I have to say this to y'all because, again, I say the same thing. I say, if you sow a seed in something, it'll always come back to you. And I make it a point to when I have something going on, especially to vendors events, or if somebody has a show, I might not even want to go to the show, but I will go because I support. And I understand that reciprocity will come back to me. I understand that same support, that same love will come back to me. Because what I did was I said, you know what? I'm going to go and show love. I'm going to go out and support. So that's what I do. Some people might not understand it, But I say this, maybe you could get that same love and support if you went out and you did a little bit of that yourself. Just throwing that out there a little bit. Just throwing out if some of y'all don't get it in the back. Just in case some of y'all don't really understand how those dots connect. Sometimes you got to go and do it yourself. But you have to do it with good intentions, people. Give with good intentions. Please give with good intentions, because I can't tell you enough. When you don't give with good intentions, you start to become selfish. You start to think people owe you something. And when you give, that comes from your heart. And nobody owes you anything. I'm going to say that one more time. Nobody owes you anything. Okay? So let's kick all that out the door with the attitude, with the thinking we do so much for people, they should be doing this for me. No, just because you do a lot for people, nobody don't have to do nothing for you. Nobody should do nothing for you. The principle sounds nice, right? Because I give and I do so much for others, somebody should recognize and see what I'm doing. That sounds very nice, but the reality of it is that some people won't. And you have to be okay with that. Again, y'all, I'm just trying to give y'all these tidbits because, again, these are things I've learned. Life Coach Jeff just trying to spit it all back to y'all. That's what we do, baby. And real quick, I want to give a shout out to Julian St. Chris, because Julian St. Chris will be on after me on Mixtape Mondays, all right? From 6 to 8. And then from 8 to 10, Dinah Lynn Biggs will be on, okay, on the Dinah Lynn Biggs show. So please, y'all tap in. And then we got bedtime stories with the legendary Peanut Butter Butt. Oh my gosh, I messed it up. I tried to do them right. That's what I tried to do. I tried to do them right, but I got tongue-tied. I'm going to say it like this. We got bedtime stories with legendary Al Greer in the building, the Peanut Butter Brother. There it is. I had to switch that up because I would have got tongue-tied, and it would have been bad. But yeah, and he's on from 11 to 1 or 11 to 12 on for that hour. I cannot remember. Don't charge it to my, my mind or my heart. Just charge it to just me being human. But anyway, yeah. So we got a good lineup going on here. We got a good lineup. Let's shout out some people, yo. Let's shout out some people because I see some things. Shout out to Keith Thomas, Carla Cash Howard, Robin E. Robin Yvette, girl. I see you out here, girl, getting your little recognition and everything. I don't mean little recognition. I'm just talking. But it's your recognition. And I want to tell you congratulations on that. I want to tell you congratulations. What is that? Highball Entertainment, Felice of Determined Radio in the building. Yes. And Dana Haney. Or Haney. Haney or Haney. I just hope I'm saying it right. Oh, there it is. 10 to midnight. Okay. There it is. I'm sorry. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you so much. Can I put that on there? Dr. Al Greer's on from 10 to 12 midnight. So, y'all, we literally got y'all for 7 hours on WCHI Biggs Radio Chicago. 7. Okay? And I kick y'all off. It's beautiful. I love kicking off at 5, baby. I love it. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful time. So listen here. I want to leave y'all with this. If there was something that if y'all didn't get anything from today's show, just try to understand yourself more. Try to understand people more. Try to understand why it is you do the things that you do, why certain outcomes come out in your life. Understand and know that it's not always going to be 100%, but also know, too, that you have some control. You're never too much. Don't ever get yourself in a position where you're too much in control that allows you to be out of control. So that's what I want to leave y'all with today. So, all right, y'all. We're going a little early so y'all can get a little music out here. Y'all can get ready for Mixtape Monday with Julian St. Chris because he is going to be on with y'all, rocking it out for them 2 hours. So y'all got to enjoy this man and what he has to offer on the radio, on the turntables, baby. And then you got Dinah Lynn Biggs, okay? Dinah Lynn Biggs from 8 to 10, okay? 6 to 8, Julian. 8 to 10, Dinah Lynn Biggs. And then you got bedtime stories from 10 to 12, playing the Dusties, baby. So, look, y'all got a good lineup tonight. Do your thing. So, all right, y'all. It's your boy, Life Coach Jeff, coming to you live. And remember, on WCHI, Biggs Radio Chicago, on the Jeff Relaford Show. Okay? Remember, baby, redirect, regroup, refocus. And I love y'all so very much. And as always, peace out. I would be done right now. But what y'all saw me doing was I'm trying to do this outro. So, all right, y'all. Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Jeff Relaford, and I thank you for joining me on the Jeff Relaford Show. Because listen, you could have been doing anything else today, right? But you chose on your way home from work, or if you just at home chilling, to tune in to the Jeff Relaford Show. Now, real quick, I want to say this to you. Go ahead, tell your friends and family to download the online Radio Box app to your Android or your Apple device. So that way you can go ahead and listen to us on the go. And what you do is from there, you type in Biggs Radio Chicago. Okay? Biggs Radio Chicago. And also listen to our sister stations in Indianapolis, Indiana, Pasadena, California, Atlanta, Georgia. And once again, you are kicking it with Jeff Relaford on The Jeff Relaford Show on Biggs Radio Chicago, the voice of a new generation. Let's go.